Imagine standing in front of the biggest creatures that ever existed on this planet. Animals so massive that just one move from them could wipe you out without even noticing. Bodies built like living machines, muscles, weight, presence, creatures that look like they were designed to dominate everything around them. And yet, here's the part nobody expects. All that size, all that power, all that intimidation is fueled by things so small you could miss them if you blink. Take the blue whale, for example. Not just a big animal, not just the biggest whale, but the biggest living thing that has ever existed in the history of Earth. Bigger than any dinosaur, bigger than anything that ever walked, swam, or crawled on this planet. Its heart alone is the size of a small car. Its mouth could swallow a bus. Its voice can travel hundreds of miles underwater. And when you picture something like that, your brain automatically goes to predator, killer, unstoppable monster of the ocean. But reality hits different, because the blue whale doesn't hunt sharks. It doesn't chase giant fish. It doesn't rip anything apart. This absolute ocean giant survives almost entirely on krill, tiny shrimp-like creatures, each one barely bigger than your fingertip. Weak, defenseless, invisible compared to the size of the whale itself. And yet millions of them are what keep this giant alive. The whale opens its massive mouth, takes in thousands of gallons of water, filters it, and keeps only those tiny creatures, letting everything else go. And that's it. That's the system. No violence, no bloodbath, just size depending on something microscopic. And here's where it starts to get uncomfortable. Because if those tiny creatures disappear, even for a short time, the giant follows them straight into extinction. And it's not just the blue whale. Move a little in the ocean and you meet the whale shark, the biggest fish alive today. A creature that looks like it came straight out of a nightmare. Massive body, wide mouth, patterns that make it look ancient and dangerous. But again, no hunting, no attacks, no chasing prey. Just drifting through the water eating plankton, tiny organisms you can barely even see. The same story repeating itself. Massive body, tiny fuel. At this point, the pattern should already be messing with your head. So let's leave the ocean and step onto land, because the same rule applies there too. Animal that could easily kill almost anything around it if it wanted to. Yet it spends most of its life slowly eating grass, leaves, branches, things that weigh almost nothing, things we step on every day without thinking twice. And still, that weak-looking food is what keeps one of the strongest land animals alive. And then there's the giraffe, towering above everything else, neck stretching into the trees, looking untouchable, almost unreal. But all that height, all that dominance, just to gently pull leaves from branches using a tongue built for precision, not violence. Now here's where it stops being just interesting and starts getting scary. Because all these giants, ocean giants and land giants, are completely dependent on the smallest, weakest parts of their environment. Krill, plankton, grass, leaves, things humans barely care about, things we destroy without noticing. And if those small things collapse, the giants don't fight back. They don't adapt fast enough. They simply fade out. The real horror isn't teeth or claws. The real horror is dependence. Imagine a world where tiny creatures disappear. No plankton, no insects, no small plants. At first it looks peaceful, clean. No annoying bugs, no swarms, no noise. But then the plants start dying. Then the herbivores collapse. Then the giants vanish. And eventually, everything follows, including us. That's the part nobody likes to think about. Because nature doesn't care about size. It doesn't care how scary you look. how strong you are, or how high you sit in the food chain. Every creature is chained to something smaller than itself, something fragile, something easy to destroy. So next time you see a giant animal and feel fear, remember this. Its entire existence depends on something you'd probably ignore if it was right in front of you. And the most terrifying question isn't why giant animals eat tiny things. The terrifying question is, what happens when the tiny things are gone?